and see his perspective on this.
Well, thank you, Senator Capito, for highlighting this and showing some transparency and some sunlight on what's going on here with regard to these grants through the Inflation Reduction Act. But as you all more aptly named it, the Investment in Radical Activists Act,
Right.
because that's exactly what we're doing here. When you're giving money to organizations like the Climate Justice Alliance, and they are funding the March on Washington, and they are waving the free Palestinian flags and so forth, we're paying them to lobby our government. I got to tell you, everyday Nebraskans don't think that's a good idea. Like that our tax dollars should go to radical organizations to lobby our own government. That's just crazy. And you're talking about the NDN Collective and the things they want to do, like abolishing the military, abolishing the police, abolishing Customs and Border Protection, abolishing Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Again, everyday Americans think those organizations are important organizations, and we want to keep them to keep us safe. They are way out of step with what everyday Americans want to see. This is really, really radical stuff that they're promoting. And then we have organizations like the social and environmental entrepreneurs who are spreading climate alarmism and, again, funding left-wing groups. This is not what our tax dollars are supposed to go for. And to your point about the EPA, because all this money is going through the EPA, I was just talking to a company yesterday who said, hey, we need more help with getting permits done. We can't get permits fast enough, frankly, for some of these environmental projects even, and it's because the money is going to fund these radical organizations and not that nobody's paying attention to how many people they've got working in their different regions to be able to help get these permits processed. So on the one hand, the EPA's got legitimate business they're not getting done. On the other hand, they're funding these radical environmentalists and other sorts of organizations. And again, it just gets back to everyday Americans, that's not how they want their money spent. They want their money spent here in Washington, D.C. wisely. And when you see the frustration that people have in Washington, D.C., this is a prime example of why they have that frustration. So I want to, again, thank Senator Capito for highlighting this, for shining some sunshine on this, so that we can get some changes made. We are now sitting at $35 trillion in debt. We have got to get our spending under control, and spending on this kind of radical activism is not the way we should be spending our tax dollars.
Right.
I'll turn it over to you.
Well said. Well said. So any questions?